Namaste and welcome to class, and thank you for sitting with me with your undivided attention. And today's class is going to be a complement knowledge to the practice of meditation and detachment that you are going to do this week. And it's a very important one because we are touching now the petals of the Manipura chakra, the chakra that it gives you that strength of being more yourself. So I want to give you a very powerful and important knowledge for you to adjust your sense of authority. We really fight at the individual level and collective level, and in any relationship it's all about the exchange and the struggle of power and how we have misunderstand that. And the other thing I'm going to do in this class, instead of dividing it in 10 minutes chunks, I'm going to put all the information in one video. Let's see your span of attention and concentration. I am hoping that you just take what you need and process that and apply it in the daily practice. There are 3 types of authority, and inevitable any of these 3 types of authority, you need to bow to it and make a cohesiveness, an alliance, and a sense of belonging and partnership. You need to walk with it, not behind, not in front. It has a special relationship. And I say relationship because it's the main fundamental support to eliminate that power struggle within yourself, with the ego, or with anyone that you're projecting into. The first type of authority that you must obey is the authority of matter, meaning that you do have a physical body, and that physical body is composed of the 5 elements. And those 5 elements have a combination and a permutation that offers you the vessel that you are inhabiting, that you are animating. These 5 elements, they have a very strong laws, and is that they embed with your soul, and in that partnership you can have the experiences on earth to make you who you are today. The authority of the elements is that the water has certain qualities and requests. The fire element has certain authority and request. The air, the ether, and the earth. I think I say that, right? All these 5 elements that constitute your body go through cycles and realize its balance in 3 things: your sleep, your food, and your exercise. If you don't obey that, you are not obeying the authority of earth and matter. You need to understand what type your body is, what it needs, when it needs it, and adjust it accordingly to the seasons. That first authority, if you violate those laws, you get weaker, you get sick, and you cannot function. You cannot have the experience that you're meant to have. Now, within the earth elements and the earth bodies, remember the earth bodies? Your physical body, your etheric body, your emotional body, your mental body. It has a very powerful receptivity. If we can say that the elements record every single impression all the time through the senses, click, you're seeing and you're recording, you're hearing and you're recording, you're tasting and you're recording, you're feeling and sensing, you're recording. So the senses allows the record or the information to come in, and the senses also receive more information than you think, right? They have an incredible capability not only to perceive the actual physical sight or hear, but also have the capacity to go and sense more subtle realms. And all that is recorded, the nervous system receives it, organize it, and is stored in the body, right? Any unprocessed information, it becomes junk, it becomes too much for the nervous system, and that's why we do meditation, that's why we retreat, to empty that. But my point is that your body is highly, highly receptive. And receptive to also to your belief systems. But that's another conversation. The second type of authority is a very interesting combination because it utilizes that earth bodies, your conscious physical body, with your subconscious power. And this is very, very important. In your conscious and your earth bodies, you are trained from early age, mother and father, cultural, language, place in the planet, to certain legacy, to certain information. You inherit your ancestors' information. You have patterns. And those patterns, usually they are not very enlightened. They are all chaotic. And that random actions create in the mind instability. You go here, you like this, you change your mind, you go in there, you don't know what you really want, you don't have a sense of direction, and so on and so forth. So the conscious mind, it really is like a teenager just discovering the earth, like, okay, what is in here? And I get very excited. But that conscious part of you who have those patterns can get overwhelmed with all the information. And then you get dull. Now, that earth bodies is led by the voice of your soul bodies. And in your soul bodies, remember, you have your angels, your librarians, your guides, your archangels, your personal guide, your past life, the records of all your experiences, your soul traveling. Is so much information in there. So it have a little bit of a wider perspective of the conscious, or what is happening on earth. And it knows what you need. The conscious self knows that you need to eat well, it knows that you need to sleep, it knows that you need to exercise. There is no one in the planet that says, what do you need in order to be healthy? But do they do it? Not necessarily. The soul bodies, has the information to when to do it. It wants to improve you. It wants to love you. It wants to nourish your conscious mind. Then it sends you a message. Oh, it's better if you eat this food at this time. Or even so subtle, let's say I fly often, so if I say to myself, wake me up at 4 a.m. And I can put my phone clock alarm, but 10 minutes before 4 a.m. I awake. And who awakes me? It's my soul, because it loves the partnership. It loves to help. But let's say I don't need to catch an airplane and I just go, and at 4 o'clock the phone rings and I go, okay, 5 more minutes. And those 5 minutes become an hour. With that, then, I am not linking to the message of the soul. I am disempowering. And if you repeat this over and over and over, it gets weaker and weaker and weaker. But here the thing about the soul, that it keeps telling you, because you know that it's better for you to exercise or to do things that you know you'll be happier. So start a power struggle between the conscious and your soul messages. Any intention that you do, that's why the power of intention. Any intention you have is okay. For 3 months I am training myself in the meditation and detachment program. That put certain partnership with your soul. Your soul say, I am with you. If you don't do it, any intention you have, any promise that you do to yourself or to others, is back up by your soul. If you don't obey, this is the birth of guilt. The soul become farther away from you. It's not that it become weaker. It's just farther away from you. Because you're not obeying. You're just doing what the other ones, you're working in the exterior thing. With that guilt, you put another layer of fogginess between you and the soul messages. This authority needs to be healed. All this guilt, all this fear towards our own voice, because the soul always will tell you things a little bit farther than your comfort zone, right? It always will request something for your embedment, but the embedment usually is about crossing certain limits, self-imposing limits. So you get scared, oh my God, can I do it? And you don't do it and you go, oh, I feel guilty, I feel regrets, I feel resentment, why I didn't do it. All this becomes thicker between your earth bodies, authority of the elements, and the soul voice. Of course, then the ego flourish, because it tells you your authority is to improve your glory, to glorify you. Glorify your image, glorify you what you know, to glorify your mind, to glorify your body, your bank account, glorified, impress. So understand that that kind of authority, if it's not healed, you will feel disconnected. Many people come and say, I just want inner connection. But only is restored if you obey the authority of your soul. Over and over and over, daily, from what you drink, from what you talk, from what your inspiration of the day is. And it doesn't matter what expression you choose and what form, if it's clumsy, if it's new, no, doesn't matter. The important is to restore the authority. That you bow, you surrender to what you know is best for you, but you pretend that you're not listening. But every time you pretend you're not listening and you're not acting on it, you are reinforcing your ego. You are reinforcing that rebellion, unnecessary teenager rebellion towards your soul. Projected, of course, in other relationships. Now, that soul, it has a higher voice as the authority of the spirit. And it relates more with our unconscious mind. We have the conscious mind, we have the subconscious mind, and then we have the unconscious mind. And in here is related to the collectives. The collective of humanity, the collective of planetary information, the collective of our solar system. Things that are way too big to know in the conscious mind. However, in our deep sleep, in our meditation, all this unconscious information get revealed if the relationship between the soul and the conscious authority is in cohesiveness. you're able to download larger pieces that locates you in a larger scope of reality. That is the authority of the soul. The spirit or the unconscious tells the subconscious tells the conscious, and the conscious surrender and obey. Then you're able in the flesh to experience a larger information, larger forms of bodies. In your third chakra, this get metabolized. This get transformed. The information that is, let's say in one language, get decoded. So the conscious mind can activate it. And I say activated because it gets first information in the body. From the body, then it goes into the environment, certain impulse of change something, to move something, to say something. Then it hits the emotional body, and you just have the feeling, oh, I need to talk to that person. Or I need to connect to that person. But you don't know quite yet what. Because the last one that is informed is your mind. If you have the experience, when I train you, prepare you for this dynamic, I say to you, come with me to this trip. Or you just receive the message, oh, I should have that trip. But then you go into in your limitations, right? Oh, I cannot, my family, my budget, my this, my that. And for what, Britannia? For what I should go? Explain to me. But that doesn't work. That's not the law of the nature. That's what is the, I don't want to use the word faith because it has many connotations, but surrender. You don't know why, but you need to do it. The logic is not there. Or better say, it's a special kind of logic that is there. And we'll talk more about in our next lesson about logic. But understand this communication and these levels of authority. Because when you are in cohesiveness, you heal the rest of your exterior relationships. The struggle between male and female. One goes down and the all relation of the victim and the tyrant is finished. You only can educate your conscious mind by obeying your subconscious mind. When it communicates clearly, the more you do it, the more fluid comes. You have more trust. Oh yes, this is how it works. This is a great part of the surrender of this chakra. Because only then you will have what in the Tantric Vedic text say you will have your will in alignment with the divine will. I think Christianity does the same thing. My will be the will. Let the will be my will. It's one and the same. Stop being a teenager. With the restoration of authority, naturally, there are three things that get restored. Your concept of independence, which is also huge, especially here in the North. Need to be independent. It's a sign of power. Your sense of freedom, number 2. You will feel free. That self-imposed that I need to know where I'm going, it becomes I am going so I know. And the third restoration is that deep sense of self-accomplishment. Not through the actions or accumulation of things, but to that sense that I have complete what I have to be done here. I have been told and I obey. So this week in your practice, aim to that intention. To clarify authority, to harmonize authority, to clean and purify any distortions that you are using to keep a false sense of control, to keep sense of power, superiority, victim, tyranny. I assure you, with this, all our humanity problems is about authority. Who wins and who loses? Who show more? Who is on top of who? Think about it. The great contribution you can give to humanity just by closing your eyes, just by obeying what you know. It's not something you don't know. And if you're confused, it's because you are dealing with the guilt. But meditation, in your meditation and in your practice, if you put the intention, you again are partnering up with your soul voice. And your soul voice with the greatest wisdom of creation. Thank you so much for sitting with me in this lesson. And I will see you in our next. Namaste.